Robert Dennis Blair Adams was a Canadian man found murdered in a parking lot of an under-construction hotel off Interstate 40 outside of Knoxville, Tennessee, United States. His murder remains unsolved. Let's continue to this crime story. On July 5, 1996, Blair Adams, a resident of Surrey, British Columbia, Canada, withdrew most of his money from his bank account and emptied his safe deposit box of cash, jewelry, gold, and platinum. He then attempted to enter the United States via ferry from Victoria, British Columbia, to Seattle, Washington. Immigration officials flagged Adams as a possible drug courier due to the large amount of cash he had with him. Once he was found to have convictions on drug and assault charges, he was denied entry. In the early morning hours of July 9, Adams was discovered by Canadian Border Patrol officers attempting to cross the border on foot at the Pacific Highway border crossing. Officials noted Adams had scratches covering his legs and hands. Adams matched the description of a man implicated in an automobile theft, and the vehicle had been discovered abandoned near the Pacific Highway border crossing. However, he denied involvement and was freed on lack of evidence. Adams managed to enter the U.S. by car on July 10 via a Nissan Altima he rented from the Vancouver International Airport. He arrived in Seattle, where he then purchased a round-trip ticket to Frankfurt, Germany. At the Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, Adams had previously worked on a project in Frankfurt for his stepfather's construction company. He had also dated a German woman in Frankfurt, though she later told law enforcement he had never contacted her about visiting. However, Adams subsequently forewent the flight to Frankfurt, and instead traded his credit for a one-way ticket to Washington, D.C. Upon arriving, he rented a Toyota Camry at Dulles Airport around 6:45 am. Later that morning, on U.S. Route 250 in Troy, Virginia, Adams backed his car into another motorist's vehicle, causing minor damage. The driver of the car told detectives that Adams seemed nice, but was in a hurry. Adams arrived in East Knox County, Tennessee, between Knoxville and Strawberry Plains sometime on the evening of July 10, approximately 500 miles, 800 kilometers, southwest of Washington, D.C. The first reported sighting of Adams in Knoxville occurred at a BP gas station at Strawberry Plains Pike at 5:30 p.m. Gerald Sapp, an interstate repair service driver, had been called to the gas station. Adams had told the clerk there that he was having difficulty with his car key and was unable to enter the vehicle. When Sapp arrived, he realized that the key Adams had attempted to use was for that of a Nissan, not the Toyota he was driving. Upon his arrival at the Fairfield Inn, Adams was captured on closed-circuit television footage in the hotel lobby. He spent around 40 minutes loitering at the hotel before purchasing a room with $100. When the hotel clerk attempted to return his change, Adams exited the lobby and walked outside. It was later determined he never entered the room he purchased. Adams was discovered by construction workers around 7:30 a.m. on July 11, 1996, in a parking lot of an under-construction Country Inn and Suites hotel at 7471 Crosswood Boulevard, which was on the other side of the Strawberry Plains Pike Interstate 40 interchange across from the Fairfield Inn, where Adams had booked a room, half-naked, with his pants off and shirt open. His pants, shoes, and socks were lying near his body. Scattered around his body was German, Canadian, and U.S. currency totaling nearly $4,000. In addition to the money found with the body, police also located a black duffel bag which contained maps and travel receipts and a fanny pack which held 5 ounces of gold bars, gold and platinum coins, jewelry, keys and a pair of sunglasses. According to an autopsy report by the University of Tennessee Medical Center, Adams had sustained many cuts and abrasions. The Knox County Sheriff's Department has speculated some of the wounds came from fending off an attack. Adams also suffered a violent blow that ruptured his stomach. His official cause of death was ruled sepsis stemming from an abdominal perforation that he also had a wound to his forehead, which police determined was caused by a crowbar or a club. Other injuries indicated that Adams had been sexually assaulted. Law enforcement initially suggested the possibility that Adams's death had been sex-related, since he was almost entirely nude when discovered. The only physical DNA evidence found at the scene was one strand of long hair that was gripped in Adams's hand. According to subsequent interviews with his mother, Adams had been acting oddly in the weeks prior to his leaving Canada, though she said Adams refused to tell her what was bothering him. According to friends and family, Adams had been sober for 2 years at the time of his death and had recently stopped attending Alcoholics Anonymous meetings. He also allegedly told friends that someone was trying to kill him, and confided in his mother that someone had been spreading rumors about him. In a 2010 interview with local law enforcement, it was revealed that the Knoxville Police Department had never received a credible tip in Adams's death. Though a composite sketch of a man was released in the case, the sketch was of a man. 2 women claimed to have witnessed Adams speaking to an unknown man outside a Cracker Barrel restaurant near the Fairfield Inn he was staying in. This case has been the subject of several episodes of television shows and true crime podcasts, including a 1997 episode of the show Unsolved Mysteries and episodes of the podcasts My Favorite Murder and Crime Junkie.